Yeah, we're back. Sniper Sports, live from the 808 where we shoot you straight. This is Joey. With me as always is Steven. And tonight we got a great show for you, man. Great show. We had an amazing week 3 of NFL football. We had some big college games. Also, the NBA season's getting underway. We had Media Day today. We're going to bring that up, discuss that a little bit.
Big news, big trades.
Oh, yeah. Things moving. Finally, that Carmelo Anthony finally got moved. I'm sure you all heard. OKC. He went to the Thunder, did not go to Houston. They had to give up Enes Kanter, but we'll talk about that. And also some baseball news to finish up with the day. But, Steven, let's start the night off with that exciting game tonight, Monday night. Dallas was in Arizona, play the Cardinals. You know, they had that tough week in week 2, against Denver. That Denver defense just smashed them in the mouth. Held Zeke to only 8 yards on 9 carries, I believe. Dak Prescott struggled, had to throw the ball 50 times, threw a couple picks, and the defense just essentially looked, unstoppable, top-notch with Denver. But tonight, Dallas, they had, a full week to prepare with an extra day. Everybody comes in healthy. They're looking sharp. We saw the result. They were able to get the win. It was a close game at first, but Dallas really made the bigger plays tonight. I think they look good on all facets of the ball, not just the stars in Dak and Zeke, but I think you have a young emerging star in the rookie defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence. He had 2 sacks the previous game, had 2 sacks in week 1. He had, I believe, 2.5 or 3 sacks tonight, Steven. They just couldn't stop him coming off that edge. And this guy's really putting pressure on the quarterback, and it's making all the difference for that defense. We also had a Dez Bryant showing tonight. Knowingly caught the rock twice, but that touchdown that he muscled in was great, not only for their spirit and their morale, but just for their confidence and for Dak and Dez to get on the same page. But the Cowboys, I know a lot of people said this is Dak's second year and he's going to have like a sophomore slump type of season, but as you can see through 3 weeks, they still look relevant. Maybe not quite as strong as they were last year, because obviously there's more tape on them. But I think they still look pretty good, and I don't know. What do you think so far after 3 weeks from Dallas?
I thought it was a great game. I did pick them to win last week, just because I thought they would come on and play the game that they did. I think it took a little while for them to get going. Arizona looked great coming out. They scored really fast. They looked great. Carson Palmer was throwing the ball well. But I think as you look at Dallas, I think once they got the defense settled up, they're running the ball well. Dak made some great throws, and I think Dallas played a better game than Arizona. The one thing that I do look great with Arizona is Larry Fitzgerald. I love watching that guy play. He made some amazing catches tonight.
He sure did. He looked good in that.
Even though he's a aging veteran, every year he looks the same. He's there to make the great catches. He's makes great moves. I think it was that one touchdown they had late in the quarter.
That was a beautiful route.
Yeah, when he had that one move, it was just amazing. I think it helps Carson Palmer out. Dak looked great too. I think he looks very poised in a pocket. I think the differences you see from last year with this year, I think one is tape. A lot of people know they can look for maybe some weaknesses in his game.
Right.
But I also think with Dak, I think it's more he's in a leadership role now. I think last year they didn't really. I think maybe they're looking at who are they going to go to lead the team.
Right.
Maybe Zeke's going to be the guy. He had a great rookie season. Would it be Dak? Maybe Dez? And I think now you're seeing that Dak's the guy. Like, he's the one that's going to lead this team. Of course, he's the quarterback. Everyone looks at the quarterback, but I think he's the one that's going to set the tone of what they do and how the offense is run. The only problem, Joey, I have with the game, and maybe you can help me out with this, is I always see towards the end of the game, we saw Arizona driving down. They got a penalty. I think it was a pass interference call. It's a two-score game. They have to score a field goal or 2 touchdowns, whatever it may be. I never understand why teams just, it's 4th and goal, just go for the 3 points. You're that close, just go for the 3 points. You should be able to get it. try for the onside kick.
I totally know what you're saying, Steve. I was watching the game and I was thinking the same thing. I even thought when they got into the 20, maybe you preserve, because I think they got down to the 20-yard line, Steve, and they had about a minute 15 left.
Yep.
I was even thinking maybe you kick a field goal right there, get the onside and go for the touchdown. But maybe they thought they didn't want to stop the momentum. As we know, sports is a lot of momentum. But I agree with you. I was thinking to myself the same thing as I was watching the game. You guys are 4th and goal from the 4 or 5 yard line and you're going for it. You needed 11 points. You were down by 11, 28-17. They ended up being short on 4th down. It's a turnover. Dak kneeled it. Game, set, match.
Exactly.
Sure, they could finish that game up better, definitely.
Yeah. Well, for me, I've always felt, especially with Larry Fitzgerald in the game, if you throw a ball up and he's there, I always feel like he's going to come down with it. I can remember in the Super Bowl, I think it was against the Steelers. I think if Kurt Warner got that ball off and he didn't get sacked, I think maybe the Cardinals could have won it. But I just think the Cardinals, I don't know what to make of them. I just don't know what to make of them. Things, a couple passes that Dak threw, I think just fell in Dallas's way, but they look good. They just don't know how to finish the game for the Cardinals. I don't know what's going on with their team. I don't know what's just some bad mojo maybe, but it seems like they're there. They can make the plays. They just don't finish the game.
I think there's definitely some questionable clock management towards the end. But you know what? I'm going to say Arizona is not as bad as you think. I think what we're seeing is the absence of David Johnson and what he did with that offense last year. That's what you're seeing. Now, Fitzgerald played well tonight, as he does many nights, and he was really key on a lot of third down conversions, turning him into first downs. But what I didn't see, Steven, is a lot of chemistry with the other receivers, J.J. Nelson, John Brown. John Brown had the touchdown early to get going, but other than that, Dallas contained them pretty well. And it seemed like him and Carson's timing was off. And even more so with J.J. Nelson, his speedster. I believe he runs a 4.28.
Exactly.
Guy's a blur, and he couldn't get deep. He had one catch, but I think he couldn't get 2 feet down. It was like a 40-yard play in the third quarter. It was nice, but other than that, him and Carson just seemed to be simply missing each other all night. And then I really got to give a lot of credit to the rookie from Dallas, DeMarcus Lawrence. He was just in Carson Palmer's face all night. So I think it's really just that, to me, Dallas seemed like they were locked in all 4 quarters, focused. They needed to win. They wanted to win. And Arizona seemed to be in and out at times and just simply not clicking and still not sure what to do with the absence of David Johnson. Their running game really struggled, and as a result, they didn't get it done tonight at home.
Exactly, and that's what I'm just saying. It just seems like there's some weird mojo going on with them. For them not, they're in, they're out, they don't know what to do. Like you said, clock management. So hopefully they can get it together. Luckily, this division is still up for grabs, I feel. So
yeah,
it's still, they can still make a push for it.
The Niners are in your division. There's still hope.
Exactly.
Seattle being very inconsistent with their offense. Exactly. There's still hope for Arizona, but we'll see. They're definitely going to need to improve their running game. So that was Monday night's game, Steven, but we had some great games this Sunday. It was kind of like underdog weekend. A lot of the teams that were 2-0 saw their first losses of the season, but that's the NFL. Anything can happen from week to week, any given Sunday, as you well know.
Exactly.
And I don't know, what are some of the games that surprised you this week? I mean, we had a lot of great games, and I think came right down to the wire.
I think the biggest game for me was probably the Denver Bills game. Denver came off a great week last week, and for the past couple weeks.
They did. They shut down Dallas.
And then to go up to Buffalo, I know Buffalo, everyone plays great at home, but to go to Buffalo and to kind of have that loss and kind of have that letdown, that was like one of the biggest surprises for me this week.
Okay. Denver, excellent defense, as you said last week, but I'm not as surprised. I guess I'm surprised on the final score that Buffalo did win by 10. But as I mentioned here on Sniper Sports, I'm not sold on Trevor Siemian yet. Not saying he's a bad quarterback, just not saying he's their answer yet. He still has growing pains and things to work out. Definitely inconsistent. I'm surprised Denver's defense gave up 26, although that isn't a lot of points. But being that they shut down Dallas last week, maybe that was it. They just, spent all their energy last week, so to speak, or had a tough week.
I just think the Denver defense was just what surprised me. I thought they would have gone more turnovers for the offense, kind of helped them out with the field position. So that was my only thing that was my biggest shock, was with Denver's defense and what Buffalo really has to work with. For them to give up that many points was just actually, to be quite honest, kind of shocking for me.
Yeah, in the running game struggled a little bit. C.J. Anderson was held to under 40 yards. Jamal Charles did have a touchdown, but he just had a little over 50 yards. Simeon threw 2 picks. Tyrod Taylor, pretty good game manager. It's looking like old school Alex Smith numbers. 20 of 26, 213 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Buffalo at home just getting it done, I guess. We'll see what happens. I mean, Denver has that great defense, but they have to get a lot more consistent in offense, and especially in that division, with KC and Oakland.
Absolutely. They need to get their act together if they really want to make a push for that division.
Yeah, the next game, that Atlanta-Detroit game was really exciting. Came down to the wire. We saw Golden Tate catch the ball just shy of the goal line right as time expired. But these were 2-0 teams, Steven, coming in to week 3. We talked about it. We previewed this game. We said it was going to be a good matchup. I believe we both had Atlanta winning by a close margin, and that's exactly what they did. Thank God, making us sound like geniuses. But no, folks, all kidding aside, that was a solid game. These are both teams I predict to make the playoffs, no doubt. Atlanta's coming here 3-0, the first 3 games of the season. They look like they mean business. They don't have that Super Bowl slump. They look like they want to get right back there and show everybody that second half showing in the Super Bowl, they want to redeem themselves, and they're really showing it. Matt Ryan did throw 3 interceptions though this game, so that streak of, I believe he had a 9 or 10 game streak with no picks. He had like 22 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. But Detroit did get their hands on a few Matt Ryan balls, but he was able to pull it out. Atlanta's another team I think is highly well-rounded, well-coached, and just more importantly, is focused.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The game, I felt the Lions played great. It's a great game. I think it gives Atlanta a lot of confidence, though. Even with Matt Ryan throwing 3 picks, they came out with the win. I think it was in Detroit, so it was great for them. But I think it's great for both teams because I think the Lions, I said, hey, we're still in there. We can still do great at a division. We played Atlanta tough. Green Bay, still lost to them. So I think it gives both teams a lot of hope. But I do think Atlanta came out with a win. Very questionable call at the end. I did see it. I think the refs made the right call to overchange it. I think he was just a bit short. But I did not agree with the whole run off 10 seconds. I think that's dumb.
Yeah, it seems like every week they're getting a few calls wrong here and there, and with all the cameras and technology, you would think they can get it right. But I agree with you, Steven. When you put it like that, Atlanta going into Detroit on the road, Matt Ryan throwing 3 picks and still getting a victory, that's got to give him a lot of confidence. So that was a very fun game to watch.